Good evening and welcome everybody to another edition of the Music and Mixing Show. I'm your host, DJ Michael Joseph. This show, primarily, in case you've never watched it before, is about the mixed DJ and different things the mixed DJ does. Last week we were over on Twitch. We did some things with the music side of it, so I thought this week over here we would do some stuff on the mixing side, and I would take some of your questions about mixing or anything like that. So definitely want to say hello to everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you are watching somewhere where you can chat, feel free to tell me where you're from, that sort of thing, because I always like to see where everybody's watching from. We are on 6 places tonight, both Facebook and YouTube, and I don't know if we're on Twitch or not. But like I said, tonight is about mixing questions, so if you have any mixing questions about anything, let me know. I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat, who everybody is there, what you're doing, all that kind of fun stuff. But like I said, tonight we're going to do some cool stuff, just basically answering any mixing questions, because I get a lot of little questions like, how do you do this or how do you do that? So I'm just going to answer some tonight and kind of play around. And then afterwards tonight, over on my Twitch channel, I'm going to do a 2-hour mix. I need a little practice. I haven't been practicing in a while. Emerson DJ Group, what's going on? How are you? Like I said, we always take a couple minutes here at the beginning, let people kind of, come into the chat, get themselves settled down, and then we'll start all the action, as we say. So I'm keeping an eye on the chat. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Getting a lot of good response last week's show, and the week before that, a lot of good stuff. This one, like I said, I just wanted to do something different, and that's kind of why I'm here, to show just some basic mixing stuff. So again, if you are in the chat, feel free to holler at me. And yes, I did say holler. And doing a refresh here on everything. Cool. We're good. So get your questions ready. If you have any questions about the chat, questions about mixing, because that's what tonight's about. It's about showing some of the little techniques I do. And I think I'm going to break some extremely basic stuff down tonight. You might say I do that all the time, but I'm really going to I have some focusing on little itty bitty things that I do on the board, and I'm going to show that tonight and kind of, let you guys go on. John C., what's going on? How are you? All the way up there in Boston. I have to do that every time. I apologize. I promise I will not do accents from everywhere. And I do a Pittsburgh accent. I do make fun of the Yinzers all the time. I don't have a problem with that. Those of you tuning in, have never seen this show before. Most of the time, it's about education for the mixing DJ, or people who are learning to be the mixing DJ, or want to be, or have questions about stuff, whether it could be music, software, hardware, techniques. But tonight, we're just going to focus on mixing questions. So if you have any mixing questions, maybe something you've seen me done, something you've seen somebody else done, let me know. I have my eye on the chat tonight, and we're going to answer those questions in detail tonight. So definitely give me a shout out in the chat where you're watching from, all that kind of stuff. As normal, if you watch the show every week, you know that I do that and give shout outs to people where they're from for about the first 5 minutes. We were a touch late getting started tonight because Brian and Jay's show ran a little longer. So we just held back, and I just kind of chilled here. And yes, the lower thirds are covering up the equipment tonight, but that won't be there when I'm showing the mixing stuff. So definitely say hello to me if you're in the chat. Definitely want to see where everybody's coming from, all that kind of stuff. I got all kinds of messages jumping up here, and I don't know where the messages are coming from, who's messaging me what, where, when, or why. There, it went away. Did I see Howie Darkstar? What's going on? Welcome to the Terra Dome. Sorry, I had to do that. Again, it's all about mixing questions tonight. Anything you have, techniques, stuff you see me do, ask, like if you hate what I do and you go, why do you do that? That's the perfect time to ask the question tonight. I will answer stuff. And like I said, I want to get into some detail-y stuff that I do specifically different. At least some of it I believe that I do differently. Jay, hey, John, you made that comment about Jay in the chat. I didn't. So those who are watching over on Facebook, Stefan, what's going on from KC, Kansas City? Thank you for joining in. Appreciate that. Jay over in the YouTube chat is making stuff about Jay and his talking. I'm not going to say that because I know I'm a long talker, so I ain't got nothing about nothing. So, yeah. Again, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Definitely give me a shout out for where you at. In about another minute or so, I'm going to go ahead and start in the mixing there. Matt, hey, what's going on, DJ Matt from Youngstown? You were over in the Emerson. That was you. Okay. I do that all the time. I'll comment on stuff and I'll be on the Disc Jockey News thing and I'm like, wait, I want them to know I said that. So Yeah, so I am on one of them tonight. If you see me comment, I might comment as me, and the other one I comment as Disc Jockey News tonight because I'm signed into actually both. JC, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Brett Robertson, thank you for tuning in. Yo. I got to get me one of those throwback MTV shirts. I was looking the other day at a throwback Napster shirt that I think I'm going to get. But MTV ones I might have to do too. All right, so again, I want to welcome everybody. As I said at the top of the hour, this show is mainly about the mix DJ and the stuff the mix DJ does, and I try to explain this world to people because if you're not into it, it's very different, and that's what a lot of people don't have, kind of have trouble understanding the fact that people who do weddings and people who do like bars and clubs, the worlds are very different, but I know both of you, so I get to hear both of you talk. And this show is something that I just want to kind of bridge that gap. I'm a mixed DJ. I don't do weddings. I don't do anything like that. I do bars and clubs and different things on that lane of things. And my job is I get hired because of my mixing skills, and that's what I want to share with you guys, different things, whether it be something you want to learn or something that you feel you need to learn. So that's entirely up to you. If you want to learn for just the sake of learning, that's freaking awesome. But if you say, I want to add this to my business, then great. So a couple here. State of Zen, what's going on? He said he needs an MTV shirt as well. We have someone that said, hi, Michael, from Facebook user. I can't see you on here. Let me see if I can see you on the other one. I'm not sure who you are. Feel free to hit me up if you have any questions. Like I said, I'm going to start with some really basic stuff tonight. Now, I want to make sure I share the right screen here. I'm going to go to the deck. Okay. So on my deck, okay, I have these cue buttons. And for those of you who don't know who are new to DJing, there is cue buttons, there is cue button, and cue buttons. So the idea is that these are, a lot of times they call them PFL, pre-fader listens. So that means when the fader's down, no noise is coming out, you can listen to this pre-fader, PFLs. This is a cue button to it doesn't work the same on everybody's equipment, but what it does, at least on mine, is that if I'm playing something and I hit that cue, it then takes it back to where I started it from, takes it back to the cue and stops it. Not everybody's set up that way, and these are cue points that will jump ahead into things. But what I do differently is I run split cue. And what split cue does is, let's say I'm playing this side. So I'm going to hear this side in my headphones right now, okay? And if I hit split cue and here, now I'm hearing this side in one ear and this side queuing up with the volume down, queuing up in the other ear. So I do split cue so that I'm able to match them in my ear as I do that. And a lot of people don't really understand what split cue is. That's what it is. You're hearing one song in one ear, one in the other. And then once I get things to where I feel I want them to be and I'm ready to listen to the main mix, I shut both of those off, and now I'm hearing the main mix. And as I bring this up, I hear this one in the main mix. The reason I do that is because I started years ago working at a place that had an absolutely terrible monitor, and it was a place that was kind of open and big, and there was a lot of slapback in the sound that made it really hard for me to mix what I call efficiently. I mean, I'm saying I couldn't do it. I could, but it just was, you weren't, you know what I mean? Like you weren't sure, you weren't tight all the time because you were playing with that distance and the slapback and stuff. And I just got used to doing that, and I kind of like it now as I've gotten older because it really protects my ear. I spend the whole night with the headphones on. I'm like this, and I can mix, and if somebody needs to ask me something, I can pull it off, but it pretty much lets me have control over the volume the whole night. And that's, I think, one of the first things I do as a mixed DJ is different, is that I run split cue. Now, I had somebody sent me some questions earlier on about split cue because they're trying to make it work through the program. Now, most boards, the split cue is a hardware connection. Just like most controllers, the microphones are not run through the software, they're hardware. And a lot of times the cue, split cues, and the headphone, the pre-fader listens, are hardware only. So what that's designed for in the software is that if you have something that does not have hardware split cue, it will let the software then, the signal that it's sending to the headphones, it lets it split in the headphones. So lets it split in the software to the headphones. So it doesn't work that way on all of them, like I said, because some of them, if you have a split cue button or a switch, that overrides the softwares. Some people said that Serato's will not, or what did they say? It will override the switch. or virtual doesn't. One of the two doesn't. So it can get tricky if you have a switch, but you want to run it via the software. Usually with Serato, it has to be hardware, because Serato does a lot of, not all, but a lot of their effects through the hardware, stuff like that. Virtual is 100% driven by the software. So that's the first little thing there. Again, hit me up with any questions you have, but that's the first thing that I do a little bit different. Let's go back to the deck. The second thing I do different is I keep these two up just to get them out of the way. There's nothing going on this channels at all. It's for the other two. If I go to these two decks, that's what these are for. But I just get them up to get them out of the way, because if I'm scratching and stuff, I don't want this here to be bumping or here or whatever I'm doing. So I just move them out of the way. So that's the first thing. The next thing I do I think is a little bit different is that I run auto gain and remember on virtual. And what that does, it kind of normalizes everything as you go. So it isn't about me going up here and then playing with the gain, stuff like that. What it is that the program itself is controlling the gain song by song by song and keeping it all matched. So I'm never doing that throughout the night. I'm never doing this. I'm never doing that. So as I'm mixing songs coming in, I'm going to do the next song. It goes all the way up, or it's all the way up, and I bring it in, take the song out, or take the song out, depending on which way I'm doing that. But I never go halfway, because of Virtual's auto cue and auto gain and remember, and it works for me and the stuff that I do. And that's the other thing that I think I do that's a little bit different, is that I'm not doing this all night or playing the game song by song. Virtual just lets me take that on and just lets me kind of control that the way I want it to. And I haven't even gotten to mixing things yet, but that's, like I said, it's all tools to me. So each and everything that I do are different tools that are used in different ways. And a lot of you heard me talk about how that I MIDI map so much stuff on here, is because I want to cut down the amount of steps I have to do to get to something. Okay, so a good example here is that these three on most programs are effects that you can turn a knob, whatever it is, assign an effect to that particular effects knob, a button, and then they can be changeable. But I don't use a lot, but I want those so that I don't have to go into the effects bank, the effects bank underneath here to get this stuff. So I want them to be active all the time. So I've MIDI mapped these three to three different effects. This is an echo effect that is post fader. So that means as I play something, pull a volume down, the volume of the song goes down, but the echo keeps going. This is a cut. That's kind of like what's called, back in the days was a transform, where you're doing that on the fader. That's what that is. And then this is a break stop. Well, some people have the break stop set up into their pause. I have it set up into there. So this is what it would kind of look like. Let me know if this is too loud or anything. All right, so this is the echo out. Simple. And this is the chop. This is the break. And the break. And those I have set up all the time, because I like to go to those. Like I said, those are there all the time when I'm doing. I kind of call the first one and the last one, the echo and the thing, I call them exit effects. And they're effects that you would use going out of a song. You can use them other times too, but that's kind of what they're set up there for. And I do have other ones set up over here. Sorry, it came on real hard there. So I have stuff on here. That's a loop rollout. That is, I think it's an echo. That's another break. That's a faster chop. That's a faster one. This is a beat grid. Let me go to a beat. It goes off. That's a double. Flange. That's the chop that you heard up there. And again, a lot of those are set up the way I do this, because I like to have a lot of things set up to roll through quickly, and I don't want to have to fuss around with a lot. And again, that's I do a lot of this stuff ahead of time, because I'm mixing. It's all the less things that I want to do. I don't want to take an extra step to do things, and that's the whole purpose behind why I do so much MIDI mapping. But like I said, as my first mixes go on, that's kind of the way that I'm doing. I'm doing the headphone cueing. I'm setting stuff up. I do loop mixing a lot, and I'll show you that if I can. I've got a lot of stuff open tonight, so hold on here. Let me move this here. And can I grab that and that? Does that work? Yeah. So I'll do a lot of loop mixing. So these are, hold on, I got to move stuff out of the way so I can see what's going on here. Whoops, don't do that. I just pulled stuff apart there, and if I'm cutting on and off, I apologize. All right, so we're going to pick a couple songs that are about the same, so I'm not even sure what I'm doing there. Let me move this over here. Got 1,200 screens going on. So we got this one is 100 BPM. And we'll pick another one. It's around 103. We'll put it on the other side. And the idea of what I do is if I'm playing that one, I'll have this one because we're over here. Let me get in there a little bit. All right, so there would be a mark there. And I would go back 8 beats. And I would be looping from there. So they're matched together now. All right. And that's just kind of a go across between. And that's just the really, really basics. Like I said, I'm not going into any kind of great detail. I'm not doing any kind of crazy magic tonight. What I'm doing is just kind of showing you a little bit of all the different things that go on in that. Did I lose the chat? I think I lost the chat. No, the chat is over here. That's why I can't find the chat. It's over there. So, all right, so somebody asked how I map those effects. Okay, in virtual, it's a little different than some of the other ones, and I actually just changed one of them tonight, so I can absolutely show you that. I think I can, because this sometimes will not let me share the secondary menus on virtual. So, again, if you have any other questions, put them in the chat while I'm doing this. Nope, that's the video, and that's... Okay, so... If I do this pop-up, I don't know if it's going to grab it, and it does not grab that pop-up at all. So if I can share maybe the left screen. Hold on here. Let me see if I can do left screen. I'm having to move stuff around because I'm not sure it's even going to grab the left screen. Left screen cropped and zoomed. Yeah, you can tell. Let me get the regular left screen. Or is that the right screen? That's grabbing the wrong thing. I always have trouble on this setup grabbing the pop-up menus. And that's a little trouble I have right there. Nope, not letting me do that. So I cannot grab that. I cannot even show that to you. I apologize. What it is in the virtual... Let me see if I can... I'm trying to move some stuff out of the way here so I can see you guys. You guys can't even see me, can you? Boom! How's that? Better, right? I'm going to grab a picture here and see if I can share it. But basically, there is a menu within Virtual that what it is that it lets you see each action of each button. It's your mapping. It's under the when you do your config menu, open it up. It says mapping, okay, off to the left. And then what you're doing at that point is that you are grabbing. Let me bring it over here. I'm going to quote you through it. And I apologize that I don't have this. Why aren't you opening? Too many screens, dude. That's why. I can't even find it. Where's my virtual? I apologize right now. That's the video. I think it's behind this. Maybe. I can't find the program. What did it do? Anyways, it's a little menu behind the thing, and each time you hit the button, it'll show you what that button's name is. And then in the left column, where all of them are lined up, you find that button, and then you put a code in there to make it play, stop, whatever action you're wanting it to do. And if I can find that stupid thing, I can tell you the quote, but I don't know why this is not going larger. I think I'm just going to close that and reopen it maybe. Close window. Too many screens open. I will do it again from scratch. It says it's open, but it's not. Let me exit out. Keep dropping your questions in there. I'll try to hit them, but I've completely lost my program right now. I can't find it. It says it's running. It's off. There we go. I'm back. So, all right. So in this program, like I said, there is a section in there to where what it does is you hit the buttons, and I can't make it come up and pick this up. It never picks up the secondary menu, but it's under mapping, and then under mapping you hit the button, and the button will tell you the spot where it is, and then you go into, and like these here are FX1 on, FX1 underscore ON, and this one, when I triggered this one, remember that was the echo out. I'm actually triggering two of them at the same time. So I have two of them, two effects triggering at the same time. It's effects underscore active, space, in quotes, flanger, the ampersand, the and sign, effects underscore active, and then in quotes, echo. So I'm triggering both the flanger and the echo at the same time. And that's all you do is go in there and then put that code in for that button specifically, and that kind of gets you going there. So I apologize. I had to redo all of that. You could go back and find the chat here, and we'll bring everybody back on board. Scrap is in the house. What's going on? Hello, Trevor. What's going on? Sean D. What's going on? DJ Jess. What's going on? Throw in your questions. Again, this is kind of like I said, this is kind of just my way of doing things. It's not the right way. It's just my way, and it's kind of how I've been doing things a long time, because I've literally been DJing since the vinyl days and then the CD days, and you kind of get into a habit of doing things certain ways that, for all the years, and that's kind of how I got stuck in some of these, is to just the mindset of DJing. That's why I like to have a lot of the stuff on the board programmed, is because, prior to all that, there was no effects, there was no keyboard, there was no nothing. So I have everything on here programmed, even to the point of, if I can do this here. All right, so if I want to search in virtual, let me bring this down here. You have to highlight right there and type, right? So I'm typing something. But if I have stuff going on here, I have, you can see down here in the corner, these buttons I program for actions up on the screen. So as I do this one, it's going to let me scroll this area. If I do this one, it's going to, let me throw a couple other songs over on the other side there. So if I go to this button, it's then going to let me scroll through them, and then this one over here lets me scroll through there. And I can come right back to this screen now. So by pressing this button right here down, it loads it on the deck, or if I hit the shift button and press down, it throws it over into the side area that you saw right over there. And if I want to type, I don't want to have to go up the whole night and touch this keyboard. That's the whole purpose, not to touch the keyboard. All I have to do is hit this button, and it will highlight the search bar immediately. So I go boom, and I can type right away. And I could be down here doing something, hit that button, highlights, type. And that's, again, I don't like to go to the screen any more than I have to go to the computer any more than I have to. I want to minimize my up here, and I'm working here. This is the machine I'm driving all night long. So that's the simplicity of some of the stuff I do there. Let me see who else is here and ask any questions. Feel free to ask. I'm going to try to bring the chat back up if I can find it. There we go. So we have a lot of people watching, and I appreciate that. You're watching both on Facebook and Facebook and YouTube, and I think we're maybe over on Twitch tonight. I'm not sure. But these are some basic things that I do. Feel free, like I said, ask me questions tonight. We still got a lot of time. I can talk about specific areas. Like I said, tonight was kind of be, in my mind, why I do things, because you see somebody do something, and a lot of times you don't really kind of know, well, why do they do that? Like, why do I run the volumes all the way up? And now because I'm taking a step with the computer, letting it do part of its job. And a lot of people go, well, I've tried that. It doesn't. I'm telling you, it works. I've been doing it that way for, I think it was 09 or 08. I started with Virtual 7, I think it was, and I've been doing it that way since then, and it works. You do have to make, like I said, it's one of the things about Virtual compared to other programs, is you have to do some setting up ahead of time. You have to set things the way you want them. One of the big things I found a change on that blew my mind was when they went from the 32-bit program, it was called 2020, and then they went to version 2021, which is a 64-bit program. And I had trouble with the, the AISO, I never pronounced that right, drivers. And they were just crazy hot. Just unusably hot. And I was like, well, that just sucks that I'm going from I never say this right. The ASIO, I always get that wrong. The ASIO And I ended up switching over to the one that I call the Wasabi, which is Windows. I can't even remember what it is now. Windows Audio something interface. I can't remember, but I say it Wasabi. And when I switched from the ASIO to the Wasabi, it changed everything, and everything worked perfectly. So apparently there's a difference between the 64-bit and a 32-bit program, at least on my computer using my sound card. I'm actually using the Denon sound card. I apologize. It just changed everything, and it just blew my mind why that made such a big difference. Still taking questions. Facebook user said, "Do you use your?" Ask me, "Do you use your channel faders or do you use your crossfader?" Again, each thing of mine is a tool. So let me go back to the program here and share this. There we go. Okay, so I'm throwing this song's up here, and a lot of times when I'm mixing, I will do these. Okay, because this is the volume for me. That's very, very loud for you guys. I know it's least loud for me. I don't know if it's loud for you guys or not. I'll turn my head down, phone's down a bit. All right, and so if I was going to mix another song, what's this one? 87. So let me find 86. I would be. So this is down. You're hearing it in my headphones. I use those to bring it up. But if I'm scratching, that's where I go the other. Like I said, each one's a tool. Take the loop off of that. So each one's a tool. Bring it down or echo. So as I'm mixing, I'm usually using these, but this is for effects, and I keep the crossfader curve really, really tight. So that's right there, almost full volume. See? So we're just going. So that's why I do those. Hope that answered your question. And if you want to know why I do that, again, that's a lot of habits for a lot of years. It's just kind of mixing that way because I wanted that crossfader to be tight, but there are other times where I maybe needed a softer, and that's why the up faders are always softer for me, and then the crossfader is the hard cut. It's for doing those cuts or dropping something in, and it's just a short motion to just drop it in as opposed to doing other things. But when I'm mixing, I'm throwing the channels up and down, which again, there's no right or wrong. It's just the way I'm used to that. I know other people that literally never touch the crossfader all night long, and I know other people that leave their channels up and only use the crossfader. I'm kind of in between. I use them both. So, anybody else? Questions here? I want to remind you guys also that at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, I'm going to do a couple-hour mix over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/DJ Michael Joseph, because I need some practice. I've probably been 3 or 4 weeks since I DJ'd anything, anywhere. So I'm going to go over there and have some fun tonight. So if you want to see some train wrecks, that's maybe tonight's the night you want to come and watch me train wreck. Feel free to hit me up with questions. I appreciate everybody hanging out. We got a lot of viewers tonight. I appreciate this. It's going to be I think it's going to be a good show for people to go back and watch because there's so many little itty-bitty things that are there. Let me think what else you guys might be interested in learning in this. The virtual DJ stems are also controlled by these. So if you have a 4 deck, I can set these up to do high, mid, low, and these to do my words. So that's only that or no voice. But I can also then still have my high, mid, and low, and my or whatever I set that to be. Right now, it's just a high-low pass filter, but I can set that to be anything I want. But those are things, again, I set those up to do individual jobs because I want my high, lows, and mids for when I'm blending. But if I just want to dump a song out with stuff like that. And if you want to know what these songs are YouTube songs that that are copyright free, that you can use from YouTube, and I picked them because I can play that here and show you mixing stuff and not have the mix the video demonetized. So these are all just stupid little, and I have boatloads of them, of stuff like that, so that I'm able to help with some stuff. Oh, you're welcome there, Nathan. Appreciate that. I do DJ classes. If you guys are interested, contact me directly. They cover everything. Like my DJ 101 is like a basic class. Like this is an XLR cable. This is an RCA cable. This is a gain knob. You know, I talk about the different Q buttons and how, because that's very confusing if you tell someone that's new to DJing, hit the Q button. There are literally 3 things there that are marked Q, so they're not going to know what that is. A person who's been experienced years, and I say, yeah, you put your headphones on, hit the Q button, you're going to know what I'm talking about. So my DJ 101 covers the basics of that. Also, I teach for Guitar Center here in the city, so if you want to work through them, you can hire me out at Guitar Center, and I can do stuff there. Or person online. I do stuff like that, so it kind of depends on what you want to do there. It's going to be an interesting year as we step into this year and things are starting to open up. I have my first public gig this weekend at one of the local casinos, and it's going to be interesting. It's a dance. They have a little bit of a dance crowd, so it's supposed to be a little separated, so I'm not sure what to expect. So I don't know, but it's going to be interesting there. Thank you, DJ Opanka. I hope I'm saying that right. I am horrible when it comes to pronouncing names. So we still have a lot of time, so if there's any other specific things you want to know why I set stuff up. But again, a lot of that is for the sheer purpose that I don't want to have to touch stuff later. I want to be able to go and mix, and everything that I do, whether it be searching songs, loading songs, listening to songs, setting loops, setting anything, I want those to be just bang, bang, bang. I don't want to have to think about stuff, because a lot of places that I DJ at are for like college crowds or the 20-somethings at the clubs, and they want to hear short versions of songs. You rarely ever play a full version. I'm not saying you can't play a full version. I do, but rarely do you really play long versions of songs. So you have to be a lot of attentive to what you're doing mixing-wise and people coming up and talking to you. So you have to minimize the work that you do, and that's what I do about this. All right, Facebook user said, do you run your mic through the Denon or do you use an external mixer? I'm going to say this, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and you absolutely can disagree with me. I don't have a problem with that. But if you have a good piece of controller, and I'm not talking, and again, you may have bought a $500 controller. In my book, that isn't a professional level controller. That's a good controller, but it's not a professional level controller. So you're not going to have the sound card that someone who paid $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 and up for theirs is going to have. So with the Denon, I have never run anything but my microphone into it, and I run a super cheap mic. It is a Pile, and Pile should be pile of crap. It is a simple little Pile mic. It is quite abused. It is hardwired, and again, I'm not on the mic. A lot of places I DJ at don't even want you on the mic at all. So that's one of the things that I don't have to worry about, is being on the mic. But it's usually just, whatever. I say whatever, drink, whatever it is, and shut it off, and it goes back in there, and that's about it for the night. So I run 100% of that. But again, I'm not doing stuff out in the open. Every time I talk, there's music going. The room is full of people talking. So it's a lot different than someone who is in a room where the music's off, people are sitting and listening to them, making an announcement, introducing a bridal party, something like that. So what I do with this fits all the stuff that I do, but if you're doing something different, you might want to go a different direction. I don't have a problem with this. The only problem that I think that a lot of people would have is that on mic 1 over here, I have a high and low is all I have to adjust that over here. A high and low on mic 1, and then on mic 2, it is just a tone. That's all it is. So you are really constricted by what the hardware gives you. So again, mic 1, the main mic, you have a volume, and you have a high and low, no mid. And then mic 2, you only have a tone, and that's it. So that really is going to hurt you if that's something you need. It's a totally different way to work through things. And again, for me, for what I do, being in the loud rooms, and some of them are pretty crappy sound systems, or people are talking so loud that it's not even funny, that works for me that way. So moving down on the questions here. Thank you for all you do. Very appreciate your time. DJ Tuesday in San Francisco Bay Area. Oh, cool. Good to see people getting out. Oh, somebody's watching me from Ghana. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. See, this is what I'm saying. We got people from all over the world that tune in, and I love that the fact that we all can unite under music and mixing, which is the name of the show. We don't have to speak the same language. We don't even have to play the same music, but we're still doing the same thing. We're still driving a dance floor through the music that we play, and I just love the fact that we get that, in this show. And you guys, I can't tell you how many times I was going to like, oh, the show's not doing so well, I want to quit doing the show, and then I'll have people just tune in from all over or say things or whatever, and it just is like, well, that's why I do the show, because you guys are freaking awesome, and I mean that. I'm not just saying that. Someone from Houston checking in. Tony, thank you so much. I'll still do shout outs now. We still got plenty of time. We did get started late tonight because Brian and Jay went long, and other people were commenting, but no. If you want ask a question, shout it out. Again, I'm trying to think of all the things that I do different, because when it comes to mixing, a lot of times beat matching is beat matching, scratching is scratching, but when you do, I know I do stuff differently, and I do it because in my mind I am modularly putting the songs together. So I will preset stuff up. That's why you see me doing a lot of loop mixing ahead, because to me I'm modularly putting that there and then releasing that when I want it to, so it's staying there. When I bring it in, it's there. When I'm twisting it and molding it, it's there. When I release the loop, I know I've got 8 counts to get in and out of the other song. So that's, again, just the way I kind of do that there. Shout out any questions about anything. It can be software, hardware. Doesn't have to be about mixing, but like I said, tonight we're kind of focusing on mixing. Trying to think what else I do here. This is something that I think is important, and this is something that I did do a little bit of extra MIDI mapping on. So that in this area right here, this is parameter 1 and 2. And it kind of works as the same as the nudge buttons up here, okay? So if I'm playing, and that's going to make it, that is the same equivalent as doing that, all right? But what I wanted to do was a lot of them have beat jump, and I wanted my beat jumps to be out front. A lot of them you have to go into your effects and choose a bank and do the beat jump. I wanted mine out front, so I put this side for this deck and this side for this one. So as you watch up at the top, I'm going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to keep looping that back and forth by jumping back on this button right here. Whoops, I got to go 8. All I'm doing is making it jump. I can go forward too. I can half that. And that's something that's important to me, because if I'm doing a mix and I'm not ready yet, so let's say, where was that other song at that has the, is it this one? Let me find that one that had that. Yeah, so let's say this one here is running at 91. Find another one that's right around there. We'll pick 87. So we have 87 going over here in loop mode. And then pick when I want it to come in, and that's the whole purpose of that, is picking when I want it to come in. And again, that jump button, it's very important to me because I use it all the time. And these, again, I set that up because I wanted these tools to work a certain way. Do you use backspin to mix between 2 different BPMs? Yeah, I do a couple. There's echo, there's backspin. One of the things that I like doing, and let me see if I have a song here that does that on this. Let me just drop these up here. Turn that off. Let me go over here. Let me see what I have here. Hold on.
What we do here.
Oh, sorry, I thought I was doing that. All right, that last one would have worked, yeah. All right, so you have a little bit of a at the beginning there. And you can use that a lot of times that if you want to come out of a song. And let that be right before that goes. And you find songs that have those little bitty things at the beginning or right before the word gets said. That's another one right there. You can do that on that. And you use that odd end to change, and it's not beat matched. It's just using an effect. Bruno Mars, Uptown Funk with that at the beginning is great for that kind of stuff. And those are kind of like, again, whether I use an echo or something like that, that's what I kind of use those for. I use echo outs on certain things, and I'll do blend echo outs where I'm not just echoing out, to where I'll kind of twist, and then release it. So, if I was going from somebody asked what kind of techniques do you do going from 125 to 80? First off, I would not jump from 125 to 80. I would bring it down over like 2 songs at least. And you can do that through changing the BPM on songs and making them match and jumping forward and stuff like that. Maybe I could use a transition mix that goes between them. Again, using something like that where you have a song that jumps out of something where it has a breakdown. Let's see if I can find that other song because it had a great break point in there. It was a Latin song. I was playing it early in the night. Yeah, so right here. That right there is a good spot to come out of a song into something like. So we're going from 115 to 109, and I'll even exaggerate that. I'll do it from 101 to 127. So as that drops out, you can bring this in. All right, so. What I did was I did the echo, I did the high-low filter to phase it out, so it was going. And it gave it a much smoother out, and then I just dropped the other one in on that. And they were way off on that, and that's, again, just little things you can do like that are quite easy to jump between that kind of stuff. It's just about your creativity with the stuff you do. How will you set up for your gig at the casino? Do you have a specific music you have in mind? Actually, I do not. That's one of the things is, and again, I probably should have talked about this, that I do way different than other DJs is I don't use crates at all, ever. I don't use playlists. I don't anything. I read the crowd for what they want to hear. So let's use an example here and show you what I'm doing. And that crowd, because that is a new place, a new lounge that they're opening up, and I've only seen video of it, so I kind of have a feeling of what the crowd's going to do, but I'm going to test it with different music. So if I'm doing searches here, that's good enough. So if I'm searching for a song, I'm going to do a search. Let's say I'm playing this song right here. It's 115 beats per minute. I'm going to split that, and I'm going to go like 111-120. And now it's going to bring me everything up that I have within that. And let's say it's an older song, so I'm going to play some 90s, or let's say 2000s, somewhere around there. I want to play that. So because the way virtual works, I can type in 2000-2010, and now it's only going to show me songs in that BPM range, in that year range, and then I can go, well, I want kind of like a urban hip-hop thing, so I'm pulling up songs that are just kind of urban crossover, stuff like that from that era. And that's how I kind of do that, is I break that down, and I'll do some in this thing, and then I'll switch it up to another. Again, if I want to stay in the BPM, I stay that and change that out. Let's say I want to throw a 90s in there, so I can go either, because I have mine tagged certainly, so I can either go 90s and show me all the 90s, or I can go 1990-1999 that way, and it's going to bring those up, and I can work through them that way. So To answer your question about knowing what I'm going to do, I don't, because I want to read the crowd when I get there. Like I said, I've only seen videos of other people there because they've only been open. This is the third night that they're there. And I'm definitely going to have to see what kind of crowd is there, what they're doing. I know in the videos of the other guys, they actually drop line dances, and that's when the most people were on the floor is for like Cupid Shuffle and stuff like that. So I know I'm going to have to drop the Cupid Shuffle and the Cha-Cha and all that kind of stuff. I know that. I have a feeling that stuff like Dancing Queen's going to go, but I also know that I'm going to have to be playing some Drake and some little whoever, because there's a lot of those littles. Play Nicki and Cardi and all the other ones. I know I'm going to play all those too. So it's going to be a broad range of stuff, I think. So I'm going to feel it out, see what they like. If they're digging some older stuff, I'll play some older stuff. That's kind of the way I do it. When I go into a crowd, I kind of know what's going on, kind of know what's expected, and then I feel it out and just work the crowd. The way I do that, like I said, you have to agree it's very different than other people do, but it's my way. Instead of you in your mind going through songs that way and putting them into a crate, I'm kind of working it backwards, going, I want something that would be in this crate, so I just type it in and virtual shows me what I want, and I sort by play count. So if I want something that's popular, it's going to be up the top of that list, and if it's something that I'm like, it's early in the evening, I don't want to play hits in this range, I'll scroll down to something that has a lot less plays, and that's one I'll play earlier, that has less plays, that isn't as like a hot, but it's still good. And that's just the kind of way I work the crowd like that. You got to, depending on what's going on, you need to work the room or work the crowd, and work the floor, and there's two different things. Some of the places I DJ at, it is so crowded that the bar has people waiting in line to get a drink all night long. So you never have to turn over the dance floor. There's always people waiting to get drinks. So you just drive that dance floor all night. Drive that dance floor. Other nights, you might have some people sitting down. A lot of places I DJ, there's no seats. It's just people dancing. But other places, you might have partial seats and stuff like that. Like I know this lounge has a lot of seats. So I'm going to have to be paying attention not only to the people who are dancing, but also people who aren't, and I'm going to have to read the room, so as opposed to different than the floor and the room, depending on what's going on there. That place, I'm going to have to read the room. Other places, I only have to read the floor. So I'm going to read that room and kind of work that a little bit the best of my ability as that goes. It's going to be unique, like I said, because they're new, and when they called me to do it, that's one of the things they were explaining to me. They're like, well, this is our first time. It's a new lounge. We've never opened before. It's the first time we're allowing entertainment back in the casino. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what to expect. We don't know if people are going to like to come early, come late. So they're feeling it out too. And I've worked with them so many times before that I'm not worried about it, because I know they're going to know I'm trying to figure it out with them, and also will take anything they want. If they say no, try going this way, I have no problem listening to what they want there. So things like that are kind of interesting, because it's corporate, and corporate's a little bit different than a single owner of like a bar or something. The whole mindset is a little bit different. Facebook user says, how do you change virtual DJ to read out songs you already played? There is a setting in there. I will. It's in that menu that I can't pop up. So I'm going to read it to you. You go into the config menu, then options, and then I think you type in history. Yes, history. And then in history, under browser, it says history delay. And that's how many seconds it's going to need the song to play before it will mark the little icon on the left played. And if I'm correct, virtual, it's 45 seconds is the stock. I have mine set at 30 because I'm mixing, like I said, I'm mixing the shorter songs. So if I play 30 seconds of a song, I want it to mark it as played. And that's all you have to do is go in there and go right when you type history, you're going to get history delay. That's how long the song has played before it gets marked as played. Write history means that it will save your history so you can go back and look at them. And then send history means that it's sending what I played to Virtual DJ's website. So other people, if I have what I played the night before open to the public, you can go to virtualdj.com, look me up, my account on Virtual, and see what I played the night before. I only do certain nights that I'll put up. I don't do a lot of stuff that I put up. I do have a cloud list that I run all the time, which is the Billboard, like the top 40 of Billboard Hot 100. I change that out every week. It's brand new every week. But that's how you get the history in there. And they just added a new thing that I don't have it on this computer. I have it on my studio computer because I run the early updates on the studio computer, so it's testing a lot of stuff. And they have a new thing in there now to where, you know how in Virtual, if I can show you here, let me try to find songs that are colored. I'm going to do this myself then. So if I go in here and I go into tag editor. You can't see, but I just popped up tag editor. I can actually assign a color to that song. So if I want that color to be red, and then I hit OK, then hit OK, and then that song now, the text is red. So that's one way of doing it. You can assign stuff to be colored, but that's not what I want to point out. I want to point out the fact that their new thing that is coming out, it lets you assign a color just like that to played songs. So if you want, instead of having that little tiny check in the corner, let me see if I have that. Yeah, so here's the check in the corner. See how it marks it red right there? If I want the whole thing with their new setting, I can set it up to maybe turn all of those blue so it shows that I've been played, or red or whatever. So instead of just having the check, the new setting in the one that's coming up, because again, it's currently on early access release, that it will let you set it up to color the lines of songs that were played all the way across. So instead of just the little red thing there, the whole thing will be a color. And I'm excited about that because I have a horrible habit of double playing songs. And when I was doing CDs back in the day, I would always double up on songs because I was just mixing and not thinking. But with this, it'll show me the little red mark that it's been played. But there are nights that I'm like zipping down through. I'm like, oh, I want this one. And I'll look, and then all little red checks. So if I can make the whole line a color, so as I'm scrolling quickly through there, that's the ticket that I want to do because I like that. But again, that's on the early access. It has not been publicly released yet. What time is it? Okay, we're still good. It's not an update patch. It's just an early access. That means that you can test it out ahead of time if you want. Like I said, the only one I do the early access on is my studio computer because that's where I test stuff. It's not going on here until it gets public released, but it's got some good stuff coming up. I really do think there. Yeah, so like I said, wait for the new one. I think it's 6404 is the new one, and it has a couple of special things that it does. But you can just go to Google and type in Virtual DJ changelog, and you can, once you click into changelog, you can see the standard access and the early access, and it will show you what is currently the newest. And you'll see the early access has those, and that's, like I said, I like the idea of being able to do the whole line, a color. So like I said, I'm scrolling through stuff fast when I'm doing that, so I like that. So these are some freaking awesome questions, guys. Man, you guys are awesome. We're almost at the top of the hour. Last chance to get some questions in. We got a lot of people watching. Appreciate everybody. You guys make me feel loved. Definitely stick around. Like I said, 10 p.m. or as soon as I can get this shut down and then my feed started up and change the lights, I'm going to be over on twitch.tv/DJ Michael Joseph, and I'm going to be mixing for a couple hours. And I'm probably going to stick with the stuff that I think I'm going to be playing on Saturday so that I can kind of get a feel. So it's going to be a lot of popular stuff. I'm not going to go deep down into something. A lot of times, if you watch my stuff before, I like to DJ like dance music. I won't be sticking in the dance music all night long. So it'll be a little bit of what I'm doing there. So appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Marcus, if I'm saying that right, cool. So any other questions before we head out of here? I don't even know what else. Like I said, like I said, I try to get these steps ahead so that when I'm mixing, when I'm doing an actual mix, I can focus on that and not have to worry about something else. Or if I do want to do an echo out, I don't want to have to go, oh, do I have to set it on this audio bank? And then, no, it's always going to be in that same spot. I never, ever, ever, ever have to go worry about where it's at. I just try to eliminate as many steps as I can. But the only bad thing is every time I get a new controller, I have to spend about 6 hours doing stuff like that, setting it up. So is what it is. Any last questions? Again, appreciate you guys. Man, you guys make me feel awesome tonight. I don't even need an energy drink. I just hang out with you guys, and I got energy to DJ. Facebook user asked, what do you feel is the most underused tool function in Virtual DJ? Ooh. Two things, and I can show you those really easily, too. You'll like these. You go here. I don't know if I have a zoom in on this. Hold on. Let me see if I have a virtual zoom. Because you're going to have trouble seeing them a little bit there. So we're going to stick with this. All right. So, whoops. That's not what I wanted to move. I wanted to move that. All right. So, oh, there I am underneath. I didn't even know I was there. I was hiding. But the two things that I think are very important is, like I said, I do play count. So play count is right there. And I do sort stuff by play count. So no matter what I search, so let's say I do 100-105, 104. 5. It's going to show me all those, and I have them sorted by play count here, and I think that's really important. And you can see some of my other colored ones that I put in there. The blue ones are usually me, stuff that I've done remixes on, my edits. Yellow means that there's something at the beginning, like a DJ's tag. Make sure I avoid it, stuff like that. But with the new color thing, I'm going to have to change that too. But the other thing is, if you decide you do want to mix in key, Virtual has a thing called key difference. So right now, let's say this song was playing, and I'm going to look down this list of things, and if it says 0, this song is in the same key as that one. If it says 1, it's 1 off. So those are good keys to mix in. So let's say I throw something up there that is far off, and I'm going to throw this over there. And I'm going to have to keep the volume down because that song is copywritten. So let's say I'm playing that now, and you'll see that right there, you'll see the keys change. It'll say now that is 0 off. So I'm now going to grab another one for this side over here. We'll stop that, throw it up here, and we're going to stop this one and play this one, and you'll see the key changes all change. And it's live and active, so you never have to worry about what key you're in. You just see the key difference, and that's kind of all you have to do on that. Let me move this back over here. I didn't even know I was underneath it there. So there, those are the things that I think are the most underused, is those two things, play counts and different things like that, because it just, there's really a lot of good stuff there. Let me shut that off. There's a lot of tools, and it can be overwhelming. Line dances, that's easy, John. I have my line dances tagged as line dance, so that's all I have to do is in that search is go in there and type line dance, and it's going to bring up anything that I have tagged as line dance. So there's all my line dances, and that's all I have to do to go and find them. Again, little steps, tagging stuff. Take the time to do that. It can sit like right there. If I was DJing somewhere and I wanted to throw a line dance on, I wouldn't have to think about what line dances I have. I just type in line dance and then decide what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to beat match it or stop and go, which a lot of line dances I do tend to just let them begin and don't screw with them because people want to dance to them, and if you do some weird beginning, it's going to throw them off and they're not going to join in as easily. So I like to tend to let them breathe. So cool. Yeah, we're at the top of the hour. As soon as I can get this all switched around, I'm going to be over on twitch.tv/DJ Michael Joseph. You do not have to download the app or sign up. You can just point any browser, phone, mobile device, computer, whatever, to simply that, twitch.tv/DJ Michael Joseph, and you can watch. Or you can jump into chat and make requests. But like I said, I'm going to be mixing with my mindset for this Saturday. And like I said, you may see train wrecks because it's been 3 or 4 weeks since I've touched anything. So with that, I always want to encourage you guys to be there for each other. As we go into summer, it's very important to be there for each other. If you can't fill a gig, reach out to someone because they may return that to you. We've got to stick together. Like I said, this show, we have people from all over the world watching, and that's what I love. We're all uniting under making people dance to music. And come on now. Our job is to celebrate with people. If we can't be happy and care about each other with that, then we need to look for a different job. And again, that's why I stick with this. It works. And thank everybody for the compliments. Thank you all for sticking around. Again, tune in a little bit. Otherwise, we'll be back next week, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another music and mixing show. Until then, take care of yourselves. God bless.